Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging out with
Nerdarchy Dave.
When evil knocks, we just say no thank you. Hey guys, jump down to the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So you got for Christmas another RPG.
Another RPG, No Thank You Evil, by Monte Cook Games, written by Shanna Germain and Monte Cook himself. And I heard a lot of great things about this, and it's designed as an intro to RPGs for the very young. If you've heard us talk about or watched any of the gameplays on the Cypher system, it's built using a lot of that same engine. But there's a number of differences to make it easier because, as it says here on the box, it's supposed to be for ages 5 and up. And I'm like, well, I got a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old. My daughter's going to turn 5 in just about a month. And if all goes well, I'll have played the first session before this video actually goes live. So
is your objective to play a session this coming weekend?
Correct.
Okay.
I actually sat down with my family, actually one at a time, going through the No Thank You Evil rulebook and made the characters for my family. Now, if you're familiar at all with the Cypher system, you have an adjective, noun, who, verbs. And that's the way you start making your character. And there's a lot of really fun, interesting things that you can choose from. Well, if you give kids too many options, they get overwhelmed and they don't know what to do. But it says, like, okay, here's the basics. And then you just pick whatever best fits what you want to do. My son is obsessed with BB-8. So I knew in some way, shape, or form, BB-8 was going to be involved in his character. Now, you could be a robot as your character, and I thought, okay, he's going to be BB-8. But since it's a game for kids, and kids like to have things, or friends, or pets, or whatever you want to call it, everybody gets a companion. So I gave him the option, do you want to be BB-8, or do you want to have BB-8 follow you around? And he chose option 2. So his companion is listed under the rules of robot dog, but it says you can be any kind of robot. So why not have an astromech droid?
That's funny. So basically like a canine unit?
Essentially. So the companions are incredibly diverse, and every companion has a breakdown of, well, here's some other options that follow suit. My daughter, Gabrielle, is obsessed with everything yellow, loves Minions, loves Pikachu. So her companion is Pikachu.
I thought you were going to say Pika Minion.
No, there's no Pika Minion. But I was like, all right, well, what of these different options are gonna work? So the fiery dragon breathes fire, breathes lightning. What's the difference? So she's got Pikachu to follow her around. So the actual breakdown of the rules is really great because you have the ability to say, well, an adjective, noun, who, verbs might be too much to understand for, let's say, a 5-year-old. So you actually have 3 different, as they would call it, difficulty levels that you can play as. You can play with all 3, and that's essentially your hardest rule set. You could just have the first 2, an adjective, noun, and that's your medium level. Or you could just say, you know what, I'm a noun. And the rules are broken down that you just go with that. Now, I don't see a big difference between the adjective and the adjective, noun, and the noun, because all the mechanics do is just add 1 into one of their pools, and the pools are very similar to the Cypher system stuff. It's just modified a little bit, and there's an awesome pool that the kids can be able to use. And so,
what are the pools?
Let's actually bust out the rule book and show you. So you have tough, which would be like your strength. You have fast, which would be your...
So might, speed, okay.
Then you have smart, which would be your intellect. And then you have the awesome. So all of these things...
That's actually an extra pool.
It's an extra pool, but there's very limited things that they can do with their awesome points.
But I'm sure whatever it is,
it's awesome. Now, the game does have a coin mechanic to it, but like it doesn't go above 10. At least not that I've seen so far. And characters start with only one to 3. But you got a list of your nouns that it gives you: astronaut, creature, fighter, kid, pirate, princess/prince, robot, spy, superhero, or wizard. That's it. But that covers so many different things. And then you could have anything that fits into one of those niches. So my son chose spy, but he wants to be a ninja.
Okay.
So like that was easy. Gabrielle, she saw a picture and was like, I want to be that astronaut. And it would happen to be a frog in an astronaut suit. So that's what she wants to be. So it's pretty amusing. When you actually jump through like prince or princess, alternate names could be king, queen, duke, empress, knave, knight. It's also perfectly acceptable to be a fairy princess or an ice princess. So like they're very liberal about what it applies. You just want to, when you're making a character, pick something that's going to best fit that theme.
Well, ice or fairy would be your adjective if you're using that variant of the rules, right?
Well, your adjectives are very short-listed. So you have cool, fantastic, fast, kind, powerful, sneaky, super smart, or super strong. And honestly, I think super strong and powerful, there's not a big enough difference. So I would actually eliminate one of them. And so that's it. So that's your medium level. So if you're going circle and square, you get an adjective. And then if you actually choose your verb, you know, that's where you add these cool things like experiments with science, or loves pizza, or eats ice cream.
So you can be kind and experiments with and experiments with science, or eats pizza.
I'm a kind princess that experiments with science is absolutely a character option in the game. That's right.
I kind of like that, like the carryover from Cypher System. I'm not actually sure which game came first. I actually believe No Evil came first. No Thank You Evil came first, and then Cypher System came afterwards. But they're both basically based off of Numenera.
Right.
Yeah. So they have the same kind of like genesis. But I like the fact that in both of them, like the idea that kind is. That is one of your adjectives. Does nothing is an adjective for Cypher System.
Right.
So they kind of hit these things that actually kind of do happen in different tropes that normally I don't think we would think of for RPGs a lot of times.
I agree. I think that there's a lot of outside the box thinking.
Yet it still came in the box.
So the great thing about No Thank You Evil is it actually operates off of the D6 as opposed to the D20. So in Cypher, as you're aware, you have the sliding scale of 3 to 30. Mm-hmm. And you roll trying to hit those numbers. Well, this one operates on a D6. So 1 is those things that you can always do. And because it always pushes past the die, because again, you have ways to mitigate that, it actually goes all the way up to 8. So if you can't get a +2 through things or drop it down by 2, it becomes an impossible task. So I actually really like that it's designed for, even at the young ages, that there's not always a chance of success.
Once you actually know the rule sets, like you could just play this game. Like you wouldn't even actually need the game in essence to a certain extent then, because you probably have a D6 laying around.
That is true, but there's a lot of very useful information that's in here, and one of those things that it straight up tells you is your kids. Speaking of useful information, you can find a link in the description below to get your copy of No Thank You Evil. It tells you, and it's like instructing the kids. You're heroes. And like that's something I've already had to try and instruct my son, because he's like, I want to attack people. And I'm like, you're a hero. You're only going to do the things that heroes would do. So I'm going to have to, see how things go when we actually get it.
My nephew's bad, essentially. My nephew's just bad. He wants to attack people.
But every character has the I Gotcha backpack, which is basically like your explorer's pack, except it's sentient. So it's got like eyes and a mouth, and you actually put the things you ask it to hold in its mouth, and it can hold things or hand you things, but it sees behind you, so no one can sneak up on you.
Diego style. Or Dora.
Dora.
Yeah, Dora. Diego has something different.
Except this one looks more like a monster.
It looks more like a monster. Well, that is funny, but also at the same time, you can see where they're pulling from. That concept right there, to me, just screams Dora the Explorer and Diego.
So there's your I got you backpack right there. You know, it's got arms and all kinds of things, and it's grabbing stuff, but it's looking behind her to be able to warn her of danger.
Very cool. It's a happy-looking monster backpack, though. I don't
true.
think it's that monstrous.
Now, the fun thing about this is it allows the kids to be able to make whatever they want to use as a weapon, they can. And your starting weapon, regardless of what it is that you want to do, it does 2 damage. Let the kids have fun and make whatever they want. And then, you know, using coins, they can buy things in shops that have kind of ridiculous properties and this and that, and break that 2 damage norm, because hey, you adventure, you get things. That's kind of what normally happens.
As Ted talks, I'm just going to kind of flip through and show you guys some of the art.
So I'm going to steal the sheet. So the process of making a character, again, you know, you choose your adjective, you choose your noun, you choose your verb, if you're using all of those different things. And then each noun option comes with another option therein to kind of choose what your background would be. Like the astronaut option that my daughter chose is that, you know, her alien friend taught her everything that she needs to know to be an astronaut. My wife, who decided to go with the wizard, quote unquote, witch, she chose option 3, which is she bought a potion online, and when she drank it, it gave her magical powers. And when you go through the companions, there's a cool map that they give you, and that's all the different lands in Astoria, which is where No Thank You Evil takes place. And every person gets a map so that they don't get lost.
Does it talk to them?
No, this map doesn't talk to them.
So they stop from stealing from Dora at the backpack.
And then, since my wife went with playing a witch, she's like, I want a black cat. Well, there's a couple different options. It's like, oh, well, I could either go with the Dust Bunny option, which is supposed to represent any of your cute and cuddly type stuff. But she's like, well, I like more the option of the big bad wolf and go with a panther. So she's kind of got a young Gwen Wyvar. Lots of cool stuff that you have in here. The game comes with an adventure module. Comes with
Pawns.
chits or pawns, however you want to call it.
Pogs.
And we got lots and lots of them.
What's the sucker retail at?
I want to say 35. You got your character sheets. You got your big, bulky, enumerated dice, not dots, so that the young kids don't have to try and add. They can just use number recognition. And you actually, those of you who are familiar with Cypher, you get ciphers. But it's not the kids or the characters that have ciphers, but the companions who actually have them. And you can give the companions treats, and they can then get access to new ciphers. And you start off the game with 3 treats, and each companion eats only certain treats. So I can't borrow a treat from you to feed to my companion unless we have, you know, a companion that eats the same treats.
Right. So if you don't have Scooby or Shaggy as your companion, Scooby snacks will not work. That's what I'm hearing.
But the different treats that they have are quite amusing. So the scary monster eats Monster Munch. The tiny T-Rex likes bite-sized comets. The robot dog likes bone-shaped batteries. The pretty pony likes silver apples. But you've got the fiery dragon, the flying octopus, the little friend, the invisible sibling, the little sibling, the dust bunny, the fast car, the clumsy ghost, the big bad wolf, the awesome alien. So it's just so amusing, the different things that you have in the book. I'm really excited to actually check this out. You know, depending upon when we actually get a chance to play, you know, we might do a follow-up video or what have you on it.
My question is, will Ted be running the pre-written adventure or be writing his own?
I want to look through the pre-written adventure, but like part of me wants to just make my own. Got a whole idea of the goblin stealing the popcorn because you can't go to the movies without popcorn.
Okay, so your premise is the scenario is this adventuring party, the group, whatever they call it in No Thank You Evil. Do they have a word for it?
They're heroes.
Okay, so the heroes in No Thank You Evil, they want to go out to see a movie, but the popcorn has been stolen.
No one can go to the movies because you can't go to the movies without popcorn. So there's no popcorn in the town.
So is that your rule, or is there a rule in here?
No. That's me. That's
okay.
Like, you know, how much of the world when they go to the movies has to have popcorn? Like it's a huge staple, and like I know my kids. Whenever we go to the movies, I'm not a big popcorn fan, but they're always, can we get popcorn? Can we get popcorn? So like I thought that would be amusing and would speak specifically to my family.
I'm a fat guy, and when I go to the movies, I like to get the popcorn too.
So, what do you guys think? Have you checked out No Thank You Evil? Is it something that you'd be interested? Do you have a family that wants to get into RPGs? This is a thing for you. Why don't you put those comments down below? While you're at it, don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
You can hang out with us over on nerdarchy.com.
So until next time, stay nerdy.